Stop spending your money on useless advertising. Today, we're going to talk to you about the best ways that nobody's talking about that you can grow your customer base and your revenue. Hey, welcome back to Blunt Force Business. I'm Brian LaFauci.
And I'm Patrick Marino.
And today, you're going to get something you will get nowhere.
Exclusive.
Never, ever get it from somewhere else. Only here, because everyone else is going to tell you what?
How to make the most out of your Google and Facebook spending.
Yeah.
How to spend
Just
money on TikTok and make it rock and roll.
You give me $1,000, I'm going to have your social media page rocking. You're going to be, leads are going to be flooding. There's a time and a place for advertising dollars.
Yes.
There's absolutely a time and a place.
But what if you could really grow your business fast, like in a really fast way, without spending money on advertising?
Do you know who this applies to?
Small business owners?
My sister's gym.
Okay.
I'm gonna call her out. I'm calling you out.
Why, is she spending money on advertising?
She did. And this is the first, so we came in, pat myself on the back.
Well, should we introduce the subject a little bit first?
Go ahead. Talk the subject.
All right. Even though the host is giving up his hosting duties, what we're going to talk about today is how to grow your business without paid advertising using partnerships and referrals, which I think is important because this is a way of tapping into your customer.
And our Blunt Force Fact today is brought to you by the late, great John F. Kennedy, who said, "A rising tide lifts all ships, boats." Did he use boats or ships? What do you use?
I can't read it. Boats.
Boats.
Rising
boats
tide.
And hose. A rising tide lifts all boats.
We're going to work together.
And hose.
We're going to work together, but we're going to work with people that you're not competing with and who share your ideal customer. So go ahead, talk about your sister, because I have a feeling
because this has been, it's very interesting because I obviously offer my sister as much consulting support for her company as she needs, but I'm her brother, so sometimes she feels bad because she feels like I'm, doing too much, whatever, right?
Family can be complicated.
Yeah, well, because I don't charge her, obviously, right? So I'm happy to help.
And then also she remembers you at some of your weirdest and weakest moments.
Most of my weakest moments. But I've heard her say this statement, and I think our listeners are going to relate to this statement a lot. I spent all this money on this local ad. If you go into the Stop and Shop in Smithfield, you will see a very unflattering picture of yours truly in a yoga pose attached to the hand sanitizing station. A advertising play from my sister's company during COVID when you had to walk in and everyone was doing that, right? Doing the hand sanitizer. Very unflattering picture of me. But bottom line is, she looks at that stuff and she gets frustrated. She's like, well, I spent this much. I spent this much on these Facebook ads. I got no return. I did this marketing campaign and I got no return. And recently I've been saying to her, let me ask you this. How much time are you spending going out and focusing on person-to-person referral-based relationships and marketing? Never mind dollar for dollar, person to person. And they weren't doing it at all.
Right.
So we built that into the marketing play.
You built a referral program?
No, well, what we did actually. So we built that. I'm glad you brought that up. So we built a 2-tiered referral program. The first we had a meeting with all of the instructors, right? Her and the instructors. And we put together a referral program for all the instructors to have their own special QR code. And then for them to go out and have a target goal of X amount of new signups to the gym every month. And every time that happens, we built a really cool plan in place for them where they get a payment in perpetuity, right? For as long as that client stays a member, you get a percentage, right? So if somebody joins for a year, you get 10 people for a year. As long as those clients stay, every month you're getting a residual check, right? For those clients being there. And sit at home on your couch, you get the residual check in your pay. Then we did another piece where we put together a referral package for clients. So people who are clients at the gym, and we're going to launch that in a couple months. They're going to go out. And then the other piece was we got set up with a local networking group and some local networking events to just get out there and do more of this. And what I'll tell you is, as we have started to launch this, one, we're getting traction, which is great. But two, everybody just feels so much more control. They really feel like we're taking control now of the process.
I think there's two steps to that. One is, it sounds like it was very strategically planned, which is not the way most people feel when they run an ad.
Yeah.
When they run an ad, especially most ads are somewhat broadcast-ish. Right.
What do you mean by that?
So in other words, like when you're running an ad on a sanitation station at a supermarket, which a lot of people use, a lot of people go over there before they grab before they grab the cart.
Yep.
They go over and they do their hand sanitizer. So it's not like it's an unusual spot, but
at Stop and Shop is fulfilled. People spend a little more time than usual there.
Well,
for
whatever.
Reasons.
But you're showing, because your face. But you're showing it to everybody, regardless of whether or not they're even somebody who would potentially go to your gym.
Yes.
Everybody's seeing it, right?
Yeah.
I could be coming in from outside the area and jumping into the store because I need something.
Right.
And not be your customer.
You're paying for a lot of people that don't matter.
I'm a different type of workout person than maybe your sister's gym would
target,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so you're broadcasting, you're putting out a blanket to a lot of people who aren't interested in joining your gym in the hopes that maybe there are a few.
Yep.
Right. So there's that part of that's part of the advertising. And as much as there are metrics associated with TV, radio, certain Facebook ads, at the end of the day, it's still a lot of hoping that you're going to get to your ideal person. There's a lot of guess and check. And like most small businesses don't have the advertising necessary to broadcast enough to kind of guarantee that they're going to get the return.
Let me ask you.
Because if you do it over the course of like a long time, a lot of times it takes it could take like a year of staying in front of people. Because to get the right number of people walking by, where you get the right number of people walking by enough times, and it probably also to be multi-channel. So it's like just doing it at the Stop and Shop is probably not enough. You probably have to do it in other places in the town too. So that they say it here, they say it there, they say it there. And then before you know it, 5 times they've seen it in different locations. Now, when they're thinking about joining a gym, or like, you know what, I got to join a gym. I know this place, so I'm just going to Google this place.
Right. I think that's a great point. And I think what most people do, and why they don't get the return, is they don't do it at 5 places. Yeah. They're like, all right, I got this much, I'm going to spend it there.
Yep.
And so it's the only place it lives, and you don't get the... what is it? 7 touch points.
Yeah,
before.
You don't get them, or you don't just you haven't done what you did before, which is strategically think about the whole funnel. Like what happens during each part of the stage.
Yes.
It's just like, well, it's awareness.
Yep.
Which can be fine. It's a fine way of marketing, but like it's expensive if done correctly. Which is why like you see Coca-Cola everywhere. You see Bud Light everywhere, right? They're not just advertising to this niche audience; they're advertising to everybody,
right?
And they're doing way more than you're ever going to see because they're doing micro level advertising too. But they're doing so much of it that they are doing a good job of analytically trying to figure out, okay, if we get more sales and it's because of this. But even they're not going to be as accurate as the small business owner would need to be on a smaller scale in order to justify the spend.
So I think one of the things that really made this kind of program effective, there were a couple components. And so a lot of people that are in the growth stage of their business, they may be just like a couple of them, right? 1 or 2 people. So then it becomes the question, all right, how do we get support when there's just a couple of us? And that's why we kind of, with my sister's gym, we did have a team of 7 or 8 trainers there. So we were able to kind of get them bought in and on board, which is great. But the other part of it was, if you didn't have that, you could still use the kind of referral program with your clients, right? So we did both of them and our listeners could do whatever fits best with them, right? But all of it is, getting people feeling like they're invested in going out and helping the greater cause.
And you've got this built-in group that is your effort level and your spend level. Once you create that program, unless you decide we're not going to run that program anymore, what do you have to do to manage that program?
No,
that program, there's no more money. It's like, this is there. It's just like, here's the referral program. It's like, if you
we
join,
run it. We run
we remind you about it every once in a while, and it's just there.
Every month we run a report and we email it out to all the instructors, and we kind of just call out, like, here's what codes came in. Yep. Like, if you didn't do any, if you didn't get any, you didn't get any, right? Like, so it just gets it front and center, right? So people know. And with your customers, you can even like double up their reward. And what I like about both of these is when you think about operating costs, there's fixed cost and there's variable cost. The type of advertising you talked about at the beginning is a fixed cost. Like, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars and I may get nothing from it. I'm spending it the same way I'm like turning on the lights in my, right? Where these referral programs are variable costs. It only costs me money when somebody comes in and acts on it, when the coupon comes in. But at that point, I've already made the money I'm going to pay them with, the percentage. So whenever you're thinking, for thinking about this, all of these referral-based programs should be very variable costs, right? You're only paying on them, and they almost always are. I think there might be some weird, you could set it up in some weird ways where it looks like a fixed cost, but the real benefit ones, the ones that work the best, don't take any money out of your pocket right out the gate, which is the problem with small business, is pulling from the overall funds for a subjective market.
Right. We've got an affiliate program set up for a supplement brand I work with where the payout's not until like 2 months later.
Right. A lot of them will have that. They got to stay on board for a while.
We've got the money. Well, no, we've got the money. And plus, like, if you're selling physical goods, then like you're worried about returns. You're going to have returns. You're going to have bad orders. So you're not paying it right away versus like the paid advertising where you're paying that right away.
Yeah.
Right. You're only paying it out after the funds have settled. Funds have settled. We have a good idea of what we've spent. Now we're paying it out.
Yeah, I like that.
But like, I think we really, so like, I love the referral program as a way of advertising to new customers through trusted sources, which is in this case, the trainers. But the problem with that is it's going to take a while to scale. There's another way of doing this type of marketing without time ramp.
What way would that be, Patrick?
And that would be with some sort of strategic partnership.
Strategize. Mm-hmm. Give an example of a strategic partnership that our listeners could.
Of course, you're going to ask me for an example, but I would think that like.
Do you want me to give an example?
Well, I'll give you an example. So, like, one of the things I'm working with right now is it's a wellness facility, and this might not sound, but hear me out a little bit. But it's a wellness facility that's trying to appeal to younger people. Mm-hmm. It's got its basis is in astrology and Reiki. Mm-hmm. And the woman who runs the business is in her 40s, and most of the people started with her when they were a little closer to her age. But now they're a little bit, now they're older. Now they're in their 60s, so they're aging out. And she doesn't have the funnel of new people coming in. Mm-hmm. So how do we get access to those people? Well, let's find those people in the areas where they're at by being around them in the areas where they're at, the types of people that we want. So in this case, we're going for young people, a certain type of person who's got a certain personality and certain interests, right? And so we're trying to find other wellness activities, or actually we talked about breweries. You think, okay, well, how does a brewery relate to, a popular brewery relate to this? Well, a lot of those younger people are there. Well, a lot of younger people are just into this stuff anyway. They're into the newer age. Mm-hmm. They're at the gym more often. I mean, they're doing the infrared sauna, all the stuff at this place. I mean, they're already into it. So it's like, what type of, but that's just an idea of like a strategic partnership where it's like, we're going to be here with these guys, and then maybe we'll advertise them at ours. You know what I mean? Like advertise, like we'll scratch each other's backs in this case. You know what I mean? Like we're going to be where the young people are. And we're doing is that's very strategic. This is the target we want to reach.
Right.
And then what can we do for them there? We'll do like a palm reading or something like that. And it's like, okay, what does that do for the brewery? Well, it engages the people there at the brewery too. Because it's like, oh, I can come here and like I get all this cool stuff. I got the food truck, I got the live music. Got this person doing palm reading over here that's kind of interesting. So it's like, it's a real partnership, And what we've done is we've exposed each other's audience to each other in a very low cost versus advertising, paid advertising manner, and a more strategic because we're exposing each other to each other's target demographic.
Yeah, so the components of partnerships.
And that wasn't actually my favorite example, but you asked me on the spot.
Yeah,
like, what types of things are we looking for?
That's a good example. The types of things I think you want to see are, one, there is a mix of audience where the people I have are a benefit to who the partner will care about, right? And vice versa. The people they have access to would benefit from what we have to offer, right? So I kind of, so I think about this, and we'll just use the gym as the example because I think
the gym would have a lot of different.
Yeah, it's got some good ones, right? Yeah. So this gym, the percentage of people that go to the gym, it's predominantly women over men, right? So if that's more of your demographic, right? If 80% of your attendees are women, then what are these other things that are out there that would cater to that and that would want access to a population of women who care about their health, right? And then vice versa. Like, so there's
estheticians.
I was thinking that. I was thinking there's this hormone treatment piece that is kind of really taken off,
the
right?
GLP drugs?
Yeah. Yes. And just overall hormone balancing, right?
So a lot of these aesthetics places, they have that.
Yeah.
Because they have the nurse practitioner who can do it. They'll do the GLP drugs. Like these things only work. They work in conjunction with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So I know a lot.
And then there's people probably in the gym who are frustrated.
Yes.
I've been going to the gym. I go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm progressing. Like I feel better.
Yeah.
But I don't look better.
Yeah. So that's a place where you could do some partnership that is very direct, very targeted, low cost. And same thing. Can we do a referral-based program?
Well, the cost is time and resources, not money.
Right. Right. No cost, no financial cost, just a referral-based variable cost when new clients come in out the door. Yep. Yep. And I think that was...
Well, it doesn't even have to be a referral. It doesn't even have to be money exchanged.
No,
a real partnership is just like we just get exposure.
Yeah.
All it is targeted exposure.
Yeah.
We don't need to ask for something in between. You can partner the referral program in there.
Yeah.
But you don't need the referral program. You don't need to exchange any money at all. All you're doing is basically, you can do this with a social media post as well, which we've talked about with our group, where you do some sort of co-branded reel series where it's like you've got the esthetician and you've got the gym.
Right.
Doing some posts together.
Yep.
And what you're doing is your audience of gym going, mostly female people who already... Probably a lot of them use Botox or some sort of esthetician. And the esthetician is getting exposed to your audience who are in her wheelhouse. And then your gym is getting exposed to these women who are doing everything they can to look good, but maybe they need to get to the gym. So like you've got this targeted partnership.
Right.
That does not require money exchange.
Yeah.
It's just a true partnership. We're just going to help each other out.
Yep.
Like-minded, same demographic, same target people. Versus advertising where we're kind of more hoping.
Yeah.
It's more passive. They're going to see it and they're hopefully going to want it, but it's not as targeted.
Nobody's talking about this, Patrick.
I don't think partnerships get talked about a lot.
They don't get talked about enough. And they really, like I said, prime example is frequently the comment that comes out of clients' mouths, and even nowadays is, I'm spending money on this ad or in this, and I'm not sure if I'm what I'm getting out of it.
Or sometimes the ad works really fast, but not for long.
Yeah,
like they advertise, they throw $500 on Facebook and it works. They throw it again and it works, but then the third time it doesn't work. The fourth time it doesn't work, and then it just stops working.
Yep.
So like I think that like referrals and partnerships in particular, is a way of like doing the scaling job, getting you from small to big by exposing you to your ideal customer. And the other thing about the partnership is, like, for example, the esthetician probably has some very loyal people, right? They're very loyal to her. They already trust her. So when she says she trusts this gym,
of course,
just by being associated with them. The trust transfers.
Yep.
And that's one of the hardest things to get. That's why the referral programs are so successful.
Yeah.
You get that transfer of trust that you can't build through a paid ad.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some takeaways here?
It's like the shoe company and the podiatrist, right? You got quite a bunion here. I know just the guy. That's real. That's a great partnership.
Well, I mean, like chiropractors.
And then the podiatrist
brands,
goes, you got quite a bunion here. You need to be in this kind of shoe. Go there to buy those shoes,
Chiropractors and gyms are also probably good.
Chiropractor and weight loss are the other ones too.
Weight loss.
Those two are.
So you figure out who your ideal customer is, figure out the spaces that they're in.
Yes.
But like my example was, how do we reach a different? So like if your sister's gym was like, how do we reach more men?
Yeah.
Find a male centric partnership, but the partnership exposes you to the audience. It does need to be paid.
Right.
So my takeaways would be, think about the money you're spending on advertising and stop it. Don't pay out for advertising. List 5 companies in your area that have your target demographic there, whether it's you're trying to reach a new market or whether you're trying to reach the same market and just grow that customer base. And then network. Meet them, talk about them. What can we do together? Whether it's a social media series of posts or whether it's an in-person thing where you're at our event, we're at your event, and expose each other to each other. And then maybe it's an ongoing thing. And then the other thing would be the more structured paid referral program, affiliate program as well. Right, build these in, but that should just be part of your program, because that's just this, you only set it and forget it kind of thing. As long as you just remind people that it exists.
Yes.
You could run a campaign on it every once in a while. That's, as you said, it's not money coming out of your pocket direct.
Right.
Whereas the partnerships has got to be more of like a, hey, we're going after this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I kind of, one other point on that, I think from the referral program with your clients, there is the argument of, do I just have a constant referral program, or do I do these launches? Like, prime example being you opened the door and exposed me to the Sonos friends and family benefit thing, right? That works for me because I know it only comes around every once in a while.
Yep.
And so when it does, I'm like, I feel the pressure.
Right.
Like, shit, if I don't get it now, I may have to wait till next year to get that, right?
Yep.
So there's, I kind of like the referral programs they're cyclical a little bit, for this month, this month, and then it goes away for a couple months, and then we do another one, and then it's gone for a couple months, because, you just create this urgency, like, hey, do it now.
There's an argument to be made for that, but I think there's also an argument to be made of just like, this is for our loyal customers and our trainers. Just make it a part of like their daily existence.
And you can have both.
You bring people in and you can
absolutely have both.
Or you could do like okay, for the month of November, double rewards. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you bring in people during the month of November, we double what we give you back.
Right. Or
you could do it over a course of like you could look 3 months down the road, we're struggling. We're not meeting the criteria we need to meet. Double rewards.
Right.
Double kickback that month.
Double your pleasure.
Double your fun.
Double may come. Good stuff. Any other recaps?
I don't think so.
Keep the advertising spend down. If you're looking to grow, get back to the grindstone of boots on the ground. Focus on your partnerships and your referral programs. I'm Brian LaFauci.
Patrick Marino.
Till next time.
Thank you.